See what? There you go. We figure it out? I have your friends. How did you do that? Oh, it took a long time. So is it? There you go.
It's live. How's it going, guys?
But it's off of the laptop and not the. Yep. Sorry, guys. 1 second. I'm still trying to figure this out.
Yeah, no, the whole thing was just shut down and somehow it just popped back on.
Do you want to set up with the other cameras on?
No, yeah, just go for now.
All right, there we go.
Got the questions?
Is there people? So sorry about that. It's been 42 minutes. Somehow there's still 9 people watching. I don't know what the hell you guys are waiting for. I don't think we're that exciting. But can we show? I want to show them that we had this whole setup. I think we should show them this. It is important. Look at this. We had this whole setup here. This microphone I just busted my head on. We had a whole setup, and YouTube decided to say F you to us. And you're not going to use any of it.
At least we have the little laptop.
But yeah, now we got a little laptop instead of all this real nice, fancy, expensive equipment that Matt brought in. So how do you want to do this, Ashley?
Question by question, I guess.
All right. So anyways, sorry about the wait. Like I said, we were supposed to start at 4. We actually got in contact with YouTube, and YouTube completely crashed somehow. And right at the minute we wanted to, it seems like it was set up, against us, but I don't know. So yeah, we're going to do a Q&A. I think it all kind of stems from, we get a lot of questions through messages, through emails, phone calls to the restaurant and here at Iron Empire, whether it's about Underdog BBQ, the TV show, even Iron Empire sometimes. So why not just do a live Q&A? We let people send in a bunch of questions through Instagram or Facebook, or even commented on some of my other videos that I released last week. And I think we're just going to go down the list. And obviously, if you're watching, before we couldn't see any of this, like we can see the screen and all the comments now, but before we were going to have them yell them out to us and start answering questions. So this way we kind of interact with you guys a little bit more. So, so first question, I'm going to start this. This was from, God, I'm going to have to pronounce these social media names. Oh boy. So forgive me if I royally butcher anyone's name. I'm going to give this my best shot. But Lila Jenner, this is for you, Ashley. I'll ask you this one.
All right.
Ribs or brisket?
Ooh. I like the decal off the brisket, so burn ends. So brisket, like the fatty part of the brisket. So
what's it called?
So it's called the decal. Like that's what we call it. So brisket burn ends. I prefer brisket burn ends. Okay. Some people like leaner brisket. I'm more of like fattier. If it was between lean brisket and ribs, I'd go with ribs.
Ribs, okay.
Yeah, but burn ends on top.
Yeah.
How about you?
I would say the burn ends. So here's true story. The Underdog's been open for how long now?
A little over 1.5 years now.
I have yet to order ribs from Underdog BBQ.
Didn't you try them at the Rib Fest though?
At the Rib Fest, I did. I tried, I think, like 1 bone of rib, but I'm not a rib guy.
Oh, yeah.
So, but from what I hear, they have pretty good ribs at the restaurant.
I mean, they are award winning.
What's that?
They are award winning.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. Unless you're one of those people who think that the whole TV show is staged and we rigged Rib Fest and all that. But other than that, I mean, I'm pretty sure we won that. Let's see. There's people commenting. Feed the server hamsters. That's a good one. I think they might have. Belgium. Man, there's all sorts of people. Very cool. Very cool. All right. So there's one question. Speaking of ribs and Rib Fest, someone asked us if we're ready for Rib Fest.
Yeah, I've actually was just in contact with Kathy Danielson, who runs the Rib Fest. They moved it from the summertime to September now, but I mean, as of right now, we're still planning on doing it. Hopefully, nothing changes that, but obviously, the past 1.5 years has been pretty difficult in the world. So we'll see.
I wonder how that's gonna play an effect with Rib Fest, though.
I mean, last year they had to cancel it. I mean, obviously, a lot of things were canceled, but they're shooting for this of September. So
Yeah.
that's our plan. We're ready to go.
Cool. Well,
Gearing up.
we'll be ready for it if it happens this September. Maybe we'll get the OG crew back together, right?
Yeah.
Get Cleat to come in and be
Cowboy
yelling at
Mike.
people, and who knows? Maybe Glenn might make a trip back to Erie for that. He does travel here quite a bit, so I don't see why that would be a problem. But
That'd be a fun little reunion.
yep, definitely that would definitely be video worthy right there. All right, let's see. I'm going to answer this one because I think this was a troll account. Where do you think RJ would be without Underdog BBQ? It's a good question. Without Underdog BBQ, I would still probably doing Iron Empire Clothing Line or other business. And not Underdog BBQ, obviously. I wouldn't be involved with a barbecue restaurant. So that's probably where I would be. I don't have a smart-ass comment for that, but we'll leave it at that. I just wanted to address that question. What else do we got? There's some good ones. Tattooed eyelids. That's an interesting name. That's an Instagram. That was a name on Instagram. Tattooed eyelids.
Are they the ones that asked if your tattoos were real?
No. I knew who that was. But they actually had a good question. So, tips for an aspiring young duo hoping to start a business in the barbecue and brewery industry.
Ooh.
That's a good one. That hits close to home. So, Ashley, I'll let you go first.
I mean, definitely follow your dreams. Tips. I mean, there's a lot of legalities to it, a lot of permits that you need to go through. But
if you remember watching the show,
yeah,
Glenn had to jump through a lot of hurdles, and that's why we kind of actually
steered
away from
the. Yep. I mean, it's a lot of hard work, determination. You just gotta work on consistency, work on your quality. And those are like the two big factors, especially when it comes to barbecue. But I say go for it for sure. Just be 100% in.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. Tips. I'm going to touch base. They said young duo. So that means I'm assuming duo is two people, right? That's what my guess would be. So anytime going into business with someone else too, don't be scared to, what's the word I'm looking for? Delegate certain roles. Both of you shouldn't be worried about doing the same thing. If you're both worried about doing the same thing, you're going to be crawling all over each other, stepping on each other's toes. So make a very clear line of, okay, if you got two people starting a business, one person should be worried about this and one person should be worried about that. I definitely think that would help out. Yeah. Because that could get difficult down the road too. Getting that fine line of who's supposed to do what, because if there happens to be an issue and one person was supposed to be in charge of it, who knows? But that would be my tip for that. When are you planning to expand across the U.S. and maybe into Europe? That comes from Martin Patriska.
Somebody also just put when we might be franchising.
Oh yeah, there's some franchise questions. All right. I don't really have answers for that right now.
I mean, on our end at the restaurant, on Comeback City, we discussed a little bit about where we were at operationally and how close we were to franchising or getting ready to franchise. I can say right now we are getting a lot of that stuff finished and kind of crossing our T's, dotting our I's, making sure we have everything in order for when we do decide to franchise. I'm going to assume probably within the next year or two. I don't know that answer. Glenn knows that answer, but we will be ready when we want to do that, or when Glenn's ready. So
yeah, I think that she covered most of the answers for that one. Obviously we wish we can have 10 restaurants across the country, and it's only gonna be a matter of time until we do. But until then, not everyone can just create a business, especially not a barbecue restaurant in 90 days. So
especially in this industry and the climate we're in.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing. It might be kind of hard to franchise restaurants with everything going on right now. But it is in the works. It's not just a front to sound good on national TV. It really is going to happen. It's just a matter of time, I think, for now. Let's see. This could be for both of us. I'll go first with this. Adam Russell 01. Did you ever think Glenn was something more than he let on during filming? There was definitely multiple times that I thought that things were adding up. But the thing for me was I was so focused and determined to just help the cause, whatever the hell the cause was at the time. I didn't care about whether things felt fishy or if I should trust him or if there was more to the story, because at the end of the day, we just wanted to have a successful business. We wanted to help this Glenn Bryant guy in Erie start a business, not knowing what, our outcome would be, what my outcome would be. But, there's definitely multiple times where I thought I caught this or that slip up and I just let it go. And then I actually forgot about it. It wasn't even on my mind. I think the deeper we got into the 90 days, the less any of that was ever a concern for any of us. What about you?
I don't know if I'm just naive. I'd never really thought into that. Not until probably right after Ribfest, when Glenn asked me, Jen, and Julie to visit at the restaurant, and that's when he offered all of us a position there. He was like, we need to open this in a week. And I'm just like, okay. I don't know, just like you guys were part of that 90-day grind. I was came in at the end. Yeah. But just how everything obvious, like having that timeline, everything had to happen right away. But I felt like you guys worked most of those 90 days, and then we were just trying to not throw a restaurant together after Ribfest, but it was a lot to do in a very short amount of time. And I'm just like, why? Like, why can't we take a step to right. Not that we did it wrong, but when you open up a restaurant, you usually have your recipes in place and you have all your food costs, and I don't want to say we cut corners, but definitely on the kitchen side, there were corners that had to be cut in order to get everything done by that timeline. I remember literally finishing the menu with Shane a couple hours before we opened. So long story short, I guess, wrapping it, I didn't really.
There's a lot of questions about the timeline.
Yeah, I didn't really. That was the only thing that made me curious. I was mainly in it to help RJ, and obviously then my focus turned into the restaurant, and I wasn't too focused on who Glenn was. It was more of the dream, I think, that he wanted us all to achieve. So. Right.
All right. Let's go. Next question. These are some of the ones that were left on my YouTube video the other day. Sarah Falkowski. This is going to be for Ashley. What?
I think I know her, yeah.
I'm a vegetarian. Are there any options for meat at Underdog BBQ? Love the show. !
So currently, on the menu, our menu has been refined a lot since COVID. We don't have salads and we don't have burgers right now. We're changing that probably within the next month. But I have had vegetarians and vegans come in and we'll cook something for you off menu. Especially if you give us the heads up. I've had a lot of people, call in advance and we can order stuff in. We actually do have plant-based meat on the premise that we've used for vegetarians and vegans that have come in and ate on the whim. So there's always options there. Right now, there's not a concrete menu item, but on the new menu there will be, and we can always create something for you.
What she said. Get a hold of me and I'll make you something vegetarian if they don't have anything. All right. So here's a good one. So obviously there's probably a ton of COVID-19 questions. And someone actually has commented to asking, has COVID-19 hurt business in Erie? Peter Ferdico commented on one of my YouTube videos. What challenges have you experienced with winter in Erie and COVID? Outside seating, I am sure, is closed. P.S. Big fan of the show. You're all a huge motivation. Also, I ordered your barbecue sauces. So thanks, Peter, for supporting. Getting those sauces off the website. And again, this is going to be another Ashley question because I'm not really at the restaurant like she is.
COVID in general obviously hit this industry pretty hard. You know, we were in the same boat. We were in the first shutdown in March. That we weren't able to open until about June, and then that was nice to have that outdoor dining option. We did pretty good for the summer, but it steadily, you know, declined as our numbers kind of raised again. We got hit with the second shutdown in December, and that's when things started taking a nosedive. So we had to temporarily furlough our staff, and we retained, you know, me, Jen, Jewel, and then our dad helped out with some other things to get the national shipping up, and that was our pivot. We worked really closely with Glenn to get national shipping up and running within a week. We, you know, cook the food, cryovac the food, deep freeze it, and then we ship it to your door. So that's also something we did. That we got on third-party delivery platforms, and that's helped a lot. Obviously, since then we have been able to open indoor dining again. We're still at 25% capacity, but we're doing much better than we have been in the past year. So,
I'm watching. So on the other side of this, I got big glass windows here out in the parking lot. And I actually know who he is, a guy next door at the gym, and it looks like he's freaking out at someone on his phone walking around pacing, not realizing we're watching him.
Gotta pay attention.
Have this freak out. I'm a people watcher. Sorry, I should be watching us read comments, not the people out there. But I want to point this out. Shout out to Dan, Copenhagen, Denmark. He's a Discovery employee.
Oh, hey.
So thanks for watching.
That's real cool.
Discovery's been awesome since day one for all of us. And then that's another good question. So Andrew OB, Portugal, ordered 2 Underdog shirts out there watching the amazing Undercover Billionaire. What is your best-selling merchandise so far? So if we're talking overall merchandise, 100% our peach bourbon sauce is our best seller. Literally that went out of stock we ran out of stock here and there with that, but we were out of stock for about a week and a half, and we just got 100 more cases in 2 days ago. We've already sold about half of those. We've already sold a couple hundred of them since putting it back up on the website. So that hands down is the best merchandise seller. But aside from sauces, definitely I think the Scrappy in the Streets, that t-shirt design, that does pretty well.
Everybody loves those.
And speaking of t-shirts, we're getting ready to release a whole new line of a couple new designs and styles they're going to be releasing within the next couple of weeks. So if you pay attention to the website, there's going to be a whole new apparel section, a bunch of new items, maybe some clearance and markdown items. But yeah, good question though. Mike, that's for Ashley.
Yep.
I wish I had, again, something to do with how clean the restaurant is, but I have nothing to do with that whatsoever. Thanks, Mike. That's awesome. Andy, what's up? Let's see. Pivot question. Blah, blah, blah. Let's see what else we got. We got a couple more questions too. Pivot. There was a question. I can't remember who asked it, but there was a question about pivoting during COVID-19 and the pandemic and the shutdown. So I'll touch base on Iron Empire. And then if you want to, Ashley, you can touch base on kind of how Underdog BBQ did that at the restaurant. For Iron Empire, we had to figure out a way to be able to keep customers coming to us. And when I say customers, I'm not even talking our retail brand with the clothes that you can buy here in our store, but I'm talking about our custom screen printing customers, because 90% of our custom screen printing customers are schools, sports teams, other local businesses. We do events. So if there's events being held, we're printing their event shirts. Well, when the whole world shuts down and there's no events to be had, there's no school, there's no sports things, we're losing all of our customers by that. So what we did is we came up with this concept of doing online fundraising platforms for online through a website. So we reached out. We called it our Local Supporting Local campaign, where we picked a couple items. We reached out to hundreds of different nonprofits, charities, local businesses here in Erie, Pennsylvania, And over about the 6-month period of shutdown, and still to this day, we're still doing it, we've raised and donated back about $35,000 to the local community here. And by doing so, we did it to where there was no cost to our customers. So these people that didn't have money coming in, or they couldn't have their event downtown or wherever it was, we had a platform online for them to still be able to fundraise money by offering them merchandise, t-shirts and hoodies. And by doing that and doing it at no cost to them, that brought us business from all of their customers. So it really was a snowball effect. It was awesome to see, because that pivot alone got us through the whole shutdown. If we wouldn't have done that, I'm not sure if we would have made it through and out alive. But because of that, the cool thing is now that things are kind of somewhat back to normal, a lot of those customers that we didn't have through that beforehand, that became customers by offering this campaign, they're now new customers of ours, because we reached out to them and said, hey, we don't know if your screen printing company is offering this. Let us do this for you regardless. We want to help raise money for you. And so because of that, we gained new customers, and we gained a new almost revenue stream that we never had before by doing these online campaigns and fundraisers and online order forms and stores and everything. So it was really cool to kind of watch us adapt with our backs, up against the wall. But I'll leave it there, and Ash can kind of talk about the restaurant.
I mean, I feel like I touched base a little bit with like the COVID and the shutdowns and pivoting and doing the delivery, doing national shipping. When we opened back up after the first shutdown, we were just trying to get creative and do different things to bring in customers. Like we did a drive-through or like a drive-up rib fest. You can kind of see that on the Comeback City. Yeah. So I'm not going to go too into detail of that kind of stuff, but it's really like getting creative and thinking outside the box. You have to like make your own market or tap into other markets and be adaptable, and don't just go. Glenn's always saying, if you're stuck, like don't stay there. And that's the big thing, is just getting creative and trying to create the revenue, like create the stream yourself. So that's kind of what we did. What?
There's making noise back there. We're in my store, and there's
That's a good question for you.
Oh boy. So we kind of have employees and stuff. They're all banging around making noise back there. It was either Crystal or Jessica, I think. Who is it? Or Bella. Bella's here. Maybe you guys can meet Bella in a little bit. Couple more good questions coming up though. Let's see. How are you coping with the fame that has come with the show? I don't like to call it fame. I've never liked the word famous or celebrity or anything like that. So it's all fun and games until it actually starts to affect your life in ways that you didn't expect it to. It's all cool to be on TV. And it's all cool to be known everywhere you go, but at the same time, it gets to a point where you almost don't have a personal life anymore. And I'm nowhere near, I'm just gonna say right now, I'm nowhere near famous. Neither is her or she. No offense.
No, if anything, that's why I feel like that question was intended towards you, because I don't feel it at all.
Maybe if anyone, Glenn might be able to answer that a little bit more, because Glenn was definitely undercover. I mean, nobody really knew who he was when he went places. He was known for being a business guy where he's from, but now I'm sure he's recognized everywhere he goes. The thing that I have against me is obviously the way I look. I'm very, very recognizable. So anytime, my girlfriend and I are out of town or traveling on a trip, I'm always getting recognized and photos and want to talk about the show. And, we're on a, birthday trip somewhere out of town, trying to have a nice dinner. And then, our server is talking to us about the show and everything for, the whole hour and a half that we're there. So it's a price you got to pay, I guess. But again, just to remind everyone, we didn't do this to be famous, because we didn't even know this was going to be a TV show. I didn't know it was going to be a TV show. In real life, after filming of the 90 days was done, and after Glenn revealed himself, we didn't find out until maybe a month and a half before it even aired on live or on national TV that it was even for Discovery Channel. We thought it was still a documentary that would be on like some streaming network or something. So, again, we didn't do this to get famous or try and get any fame. I think that's what changed it changes the game for us. We didn't do it thinking that we were going to get famous or anything off it or get rich. And that's the reality of it.
MJ Lives has a good question. And this is for you, if the cameras were not there, do you think you'd still take a chance with Glenn?
It's a good question. Yeah, I think that 100% I would have. I was actually a little hesitant for the first couple weeks with the cameras being around, because again, I wasn't sure of like where this was going or what it was. And it never made the show, but Glenn actually he called me out about my what's the word I'm looking for here? About my involvement, like what I was willing to do. I was like, listen, are you in or are you out? Because I can't, you're kind of hard to get a hold of right now. Are you in? I need to know you're 100% in. And that made me gain a lot of respect for him with or without the cameras, because I realized that this was very real to him. It wasn't just him trying to film this documentary or trying to start to, for fun. It was legit for him. So that made me gain all the respect in the world. And from there on out, you almost didn't see the cameras after a while. You didn't realize they were around. So, let's see what else we got. Ashley, do you see anything else on there while I'm looking at my phone?
Yeah, Matthew Platts.
Yeah, so Matthew, what's up, Matthew? So that is, he's the one who did that restaurant thing where he did the gift cards.
Oh, yeah.
So we appreciate that, Matt. You're doing something cool. What's his question?
So he says, you seem to be a master at cooperating with other businesses. Have you ever had pushback from potential competition when attempting to collaborate?
Ooh. Yeah, unfortunately, there's definitely been some other, if you want to call them competitors. Man, that sounds getting brutal out here.
That's all right.
Where some people kind of just didn't want anything to do with it, which is fine. Not everyone is on the same level as we are when it comes to competition. One of Glenn's favorite sayings is embrace it. Why compete with other people when you can team up and do even more than what both of your businesses are doing? And I'm not going to go into like names and who it is or anything like that, but, and teach their own. They might feel, they spend a lot of time building something on their own. So why collaborate with someone else that's in the same industry as them? So it makes sense, I guess.
I think that's like a pivot that a lot of people don't think about, especially with COVID, is I think both of our businesses have really, we took it to the next level with collaborating with other local businesses. And that's another thing that you can think of outside the box is, how can not just uplift your own business, but bring other people into it and uplift each other, and I think that people should be more receptive to that. So
good. Yep, I agree. That's cool. Alex Lauriston, all the way from Scotland, just received my hooded sweatshirt my wife bought me for Valentine's Day. She's a keeper, Alex. But that's pretty cool. And yes, that answers another question. We get emails all the time. Do you ship, internationally? Yes, we do. If you go to underdogbbq.com, you can order any of our sauces and shirts, have them shipped anywhere in the world. We're shipping them international right now. What else do we got? I'm trying to read questions here. I've got questions on my phone, trying to keep up with everything. So we're not going to go into details for Nick Canuck from Ontario, Canada.
Let's do Alex. What made you believe in Glenn? All he had was an idea and you all bought into him. I think that's what made us believe in him, was the idea. He's really good about bringing people together for one cause, and he's really good at rallying up. Obviously, you had a little bit of a different experience. I came on to help you, but then I stayed because of the idea and because of, the team. And just everybody was hyper-focused in trying to get this one goal accomplished, and I wanted to be a part of that.
Yeah, I think that's a good answer. I think that for me, I've always been a Team Erie kind of person and always wanting to help, anyone and everyone from my city. Whether you're an outsider or, born and raised here, and if you're trying to make the city better, count me in to help out any way that you can. So even though he was an outsider coming in and had this other idea of, having a film crew to document it all, the intentions were to bring something to Erie and make Erie better in general, without knowing what the outcome would be. So I was 100% on board from the beginning to at least try and help out as much as possible. So we're gonna answer kind of one question without going into it too much, because I know Ashley keeps trying to
What?
the Comeback City episode.
I can't, like,
You don't gotta talk about it.
No spoilers.
Nope, we're not giving any way spoilers. But if anyone else is reading Nick's question, we're just gonna say we're not gonna spoil it for you, but you can go stream on Discovery Plus the entire season, right?
Yeah, you can binge watch it on Discovery Plus. They are, I know a lot of people were upset because they started airing it on TV and then they pulled it, and it was always on Discovery Plus from day one, the whole series. They are gonna re-air it on Discovery, as far as I know. I think they just pulled it for whatever reason. I'm not entirely sure, but they will be re-airing it. I want to say in the next month or two. I don't have that knowledge, but that's kind of what I'm assuming, or like kind of the, what I've heard.
Right.
So definitely keep your eye out on that.
Someone gave us a
Can I work at Underdog for free? Send in your resume.
Yeah. Someone had asked, what, I don't think they were from Erie, so they weren't sure about like our involvement with the community. So, I mean, let's kind of talk about how both Iron Empire and Underdog are involved in the community and give back. Obviously, if you are just tuning in, I was just talking about how we've donated back about $35,000 over the last year to local businesses through fundraisers, through like an online sales platform, through apparel and merch for their businesses or nonprofits or whatever. That's one of the founding, sorry, I'm looking for, Ashley, help me come up with the word, things of my business. From the beginning, I said, as a business, I want to be able to give back to my community.
Kind of your pillar.
Yep. We'll call it a pillar. Sure. Why not? And that's why I do what I do, is because we're able to give back, big or small. The bigger we get, maybe the more we can get back then. But if you're from Erie and you've heard of Iron Empire, I can guarantee you've heard of us giving back and giving, whether it's through financial donations or our time or whatever it is. T-shirts. We're always looking to get back to our community any way possible. And then you guys are doing a lot at the restaurant.
Other than like collaborating with like local purveyors, something else we started during the second shutdown was something inspired by some friends from California. I won't get too into that right now, but we call it the Erie Love Drop. And what we do was we find sponsors that will donate money so we can turn around, use that money, and make food by cost, or like with that money. And it's not about making money, but we turn around and we take these individualized lunches and we drop them off to a local charity, or the first one we did was the Erie, or the local hospital in their ER department. We fed 100 people there, 100 nurses and doctors. We did some needy families from the Barber National Institute.
Yep.
We have a couple urgent cares lining up, or maybe some ambulance drivers, I think. And then we are working with a couple other recipients for the next couple weeks here. But it's kind of something new that we are kind of getting off the ground. We've only had a couple under our belt so far, but I know our friends out in California, they just did their 200th California Love Drop. So it's something exciting to be a part of, giving back to the community and helping raise people up,
Yep. Let's see, is there still plans to expand in a franchise and have a chain of restaurants? So we talked about it in the beginning. That is still on the agenda as far as I know. I know Ashley and Glenn are more working towards that. I've probably got a couple hundred emails over the last couple months for franchise questions. So we're not ignoring you guys. I'm trying to send responses out to say, hey, we got your info. We'll let you know when we're ready to open up, applications or whatever the hell we're going to do with it. I'll take, it's been it's already 35 minutes. We're about wrapped up here at Iron Empire for the day. What do you think? Maybe like 2 more questions?
I mean, if they have them.
Let's see. Any more questions before we get off? We've had pretty much around 20 to 23, so it's pretty much probably all the same people. Let me go through Instagram and pull up a couple more that came through. There's one more. Where'd it go? This is a good one. I'll answer this. What was the turning point that made you quit your day-to-day to pursue your brand full-time? I'm assuming that's from Top Mount Apparel on Instagram. You'll know when that turning point is meant to be for you. For me, it could be completely different than what it would be for her or the next person or whoever asked that question. But the best way that I could put it is, my mentor told me a while ago is when you are doing your day-to-day grind, your regular job, and you're doing your side hustle, you're a candle burning at both ends, right? And you can only put so much attention and focus on either one at one time. And eventually it's going to burn out. So you have to eventually come to a point where you have to make the decision where you're either going to keep doing your 9 to 5 and your dream of being an entrepreneur or your little side job hustle or gig or whatever it is going to stay that, or it's time for you to consider quitting that 9 to 5 and putting all of your time and money and energy into your brand or your business or whatever it is that you want to do. And it's going to be different for everyone. I made that decision very fast. I didn't wait too long, and I pulled the trigger probably quicker than most people would have. But we'll say no regrets. No regrets. If you have that tattoo on you, no regrets. So that was a good question. Someone really wants to know
the email
for you.
Ashley@underdogbbq.com. That one's for you, Andy.
Are you watching season 2?
Ooh, who do you like the most?
Yes. I've been a big Grant Cardone fan for a couple years now. So when I found out that he was going to be on season 2, I was kind of shocked because he's maybe not his face, but he has a very distinct voice. And I know a lot of people have said that where they would have known right away if it was Grant in their city or town or whatever. Yeah, I would say Grant. How about you? Have you been watching any of it?
I've seen a little bit of it. I can't say who's my favorite. I like Monique's idea. I'm all about like healthy living, so I like her take on that. But I don't know. I think maybe I need to watch a little bit more to get a better opinion.
Do you have time to watch TV?
No.
If you watch Comeback City and you know what happens during the Underdog episode, you'll know why Ashley doesn't. You'll know why Ashley doesn't have any time to do things like watch TV anymore.
Best 40 minutes on YouTube for a long time. Oh boy.
That's a good one.
See,
thanks, John.
lot of people.
Thanks,
see,
Alex.
I don't. Never mind. A lot of people. Well, no, just like a lot of people say that season 2 is not as good as season 1 for Undercover Billionaire because
it's not. Sorry, Grant.
I like the first one a little bit more just because I think they are able to focus on the story. Having 3 might make it harder to keep track of.
Yeah.
I've also heard that people think that the season 2 they have a little bit more of a posh life and Glenn had to sleep in his truck and stuff. So I'll have to watch it to really form a true opinion. I think that's just about it. I think we've touched base on everybody.
Yeah, I think we try to get everything in there.
We should do this more often.
Yeah, this was fun.
Glenn went through hell.
He sure did, especially when he was fighting with me half the freaking time and trying to stop me from fighting everyone else. There's a lot of clips that did not make it to TV of Glenn trying to calm me down. Where the real RJ was coming out. But yeah, I mean, the only reason why I wanted to do this is like I'm trying to grow the YouTube channel, and we always do like stuff on Facebook and Instagram and everything else. So this is kind of a cool way to interact with a different network of, you know, followers or supporters or whatever you want to call it. So we'll definitely have to do this more often.
It's definitely been fun being able to speak to people live, you know,
Yeah.
because usually, like you said, people are either like emailing us or, you know, we get a lot of calls at the restaurant line, but we only have one line. And so it's like, we don't have a lot of time to be able to sit down and talk about franchising or anything because we're trying to get orders and stuff. We're hoping to get a second line for that reason, but no, this has been really fun. Is our mascot coming? Oh,
we got a special visitor. Come here. Over here.
She's scared.
Come here. Come on.
Come on, baby.
Bella.
She's like,
come here.
Baby. What are you? Oh, not over there. Come here. Oh, come on.
This is Bella.
Oh.
I don't know if she was ever actually in the show, but this is the true Underdog mascot right here. Thank you, Mike. You forgot to, you reminded me to tell everyone to subscribe to the channel. That's right. So anyways, we're going to end this. I made a great apology video we're going to cover on this channel.
Oh, what?
Interesting. Say bye, Bella. Say bye. So, all right, we're done. 40 minutes. I'm hungry. You know me, I have to eat every like hour and a half. So my time's coming up soon. Bella's about to eat Ashley's face off. But yeah, subscribe. Thanks for watching. If you watch this after the fact, comment some more stuff. Maybe we'll answer them next time. But thank you. We'll done.
See you next time, guys. Bye, Bella. That was fun.